It's almost too beautiful outside to be making a video. I'm serious. Take a look at this. Watch. Guys, it's obviously not going to capture how beautiful it truly is. But over here, you have like this dark blue and then a light blue. Then over here, it's kind of a light-ish blue. It's hard to tell. And then right on the sunset line, it's just a pretty yellow. It's gorgeous. What is up, everybody? Hey, Blake with Fat vs. World here. Wanted to thank you for dropping in, checking out the video. This is going to be the memories video on my Facebook. I actually said, hey, anybody want to have an old memory? I've got like an eidetic memory. I don't really know why, but I have a great memory. And I said, hey, anybody want to have like the best or the funniest or just the weirdest memory I've got of you? Or if you don't know me, would you like a funny memory of mine? And we had about 15 or 20 people say something, so I'm going to give my memories I have of them. So their names are as follows, and I'm going to go through them pretty quick so we can just move right on.
Cammy Aber, Alexandra Clark, Alicia O'Donnell, Trevor Morgan, Shauna Lee, Justice Taylor Clark, Kristen Coffey, Wendy Breyer, Joe Wood, Brandon Sapp, Valerie Palmer, MJ Schneider, Dina Marie, Tyler Waxler, Amanda Cormier, Lane Cressley, Tim Chappell, Brianna Brent, Lorna Kirkpatrick, and Brian Jack. So I'm not going to go in any real order, just as I read them on the page. So first up, we've got Cammy Aber. Cammy Aber in school, we weren't like super close friends. I knew her, she knew me, but the conundrum changed a little bit whenever I was dating Geraldine Small. Geraldine Small and I dated in high school, and Geraldine had previously dated Tony Alexander, I think. And Cammy and Tony were now dating. And I can't remember the circumstances. I believe somebody was upset about something that got said or what, but Geraldine came to me and she was like, hey, I'm having a huge problem with Cammy and with Tony. I think Cammy said that when she saw me, she was like gonna fight me or something. I don't really remember how it happened. But I remember there was like a couple of days there where I had to be like on watch because there was like something was gonna pop off, something somebody was said, or just, Tony was upset about something. I don't remember what it was. But for 3 days I was like walking around like I was gonna fight somebody or something, but I remember it being pretty like laughable at the end of it. Nothing ever came of it, but it was kind of, it was high school. Next up is Alexandra Clark. Actually not like close friends at all with her really. I know her, she's a nice lady. But I have one very funny memory with her. We decided to go to this Walking Dead Comic-Con thing up in Tulsa. I was invited by a couple of mutual friends of ours, and they invited her as well. So we got up there, we went to the con, and the con was kind of terrible. It wasn't very good. It was their first one, and there was, guest appearances and so on and so forth, but it was kind of boring. So we decided, I say we, I probably influenced this. I decided, hey, we had a rough time up here. We made it all this way up here. We're going to have some fun. Let's drink. So we go to the hotel room, and we drink. I know at least me, I drank an absurd amount that night. My wife, I actually called my wife before I went to bed, and I was like, hey, we're just chilling out. I'm going to stay here. I'm plastered. Sorry, blah, blah, blah. She was like, who all's there? And I was like, Alexandra, blah, blah, blah. So all these people, she's like, oh, Alexandra's there, huh? Just, being funny. And I was like, yeah, are you going to get mad if we make out? Just complete joke. Just that's just how me and my wife always like cut up. We just joke like that. And I think Alexandra heard, and I said something else. I can't remember what it was, but I said something else. Well, later on that night, I'm throwing up into the sink with the garbage disposal running and the faucet running. After that, I remember that like she went into their room. They had the bedroom. I had the couch, I think. And she was in their room, and the door was locked. Like they thought I was gonna like try to get in and do something. But the bathroom was in there, so like I had to go down the hall and use the bathroom in the front. But they had locked the door, like I was gonna do something. Anyway, it was a fun time. Ended up being a tornado the next night or something. I don't remember what happened, but it was hilarious. So Alicia O'Donnell, actually your comment was that you don't know me very well, but you wish you did. Last time you saw me I was 3. Well, I actually very tiny remember from back then. Like I remember all of us kids, like quite a bit of the family sitting down in this very large open like den area with great grandpa sitting in like his chair, and we were watching Kris Kringle. The 2 things I remember of that trip was the Kris Kringle thing where we were watching the put one foot in front of the other. Also, up here, you're going to see some nonsense going on because my phone has an autofocus and it doesn't like the way that back is set up. I don't really know why, but sorry, I have a new camera coming in the next week or 2, and then everything's going to look really good, and the audio's going to be much better too, but I do apologize. Trevor Morgan. Trevor and I were friends. I was actually more so friends with his brother, Colton and Nick. And Colton and Nick were good friends. I was good friends with both of them. We had one time where all of us were together at Nick's house, and we had this BB gun, and we were playing around with it, acting like it was like a, I don't know, like a 9mm or something, just playing around. It was a handgun, BB handgun. And Nick goes, I told you it's not loaded, look. And he shot me in the leg. Like BB was embedded in my leg, like down an inch or so. And I got so mad and furious, I jumped up and I grabbed this like a table saw disc. There was this massive table saw disc, and Nick had started running. So I took the disc and I threw it at him. And I believe it was Trevor. Trevor said duck, and Nick like dropped down on the ground and the disc went flying like perfectly over his head. Legitimately don't know what would have happened to him if that disc had hit. I could throw pretty hard and that was a gnarly looking disc. I'm glad he ducked. I'm also not super happy about the gun being loaded, but it was, it's kind of crazy. So Justice Taylor Clark, she's up next, and Justice and I have quite a few memories. Most of them are here at my house, and most of them are like funny little drunken endeavors that we had. And the one thing I thought that you would find funny is like a funny memory of Mackenzie. So Mackenzie and I were little, and I always used to torture her. My sister Mackenzie and I are about 6 years apart, almost 6 years, and I tortured her a lot. I gave her a hard time. Well, there was one time she was flying through the living room, and I saw her going by. I was just a twerp. I was kind of a jerk, and she went flying through, and I kind of give her the foot, and I caught her foot and tripped her a little bit. Well, she, landed like a potato sack, and she jumps up, runs into the kitchen, comes flying back, and swings this full-size cookie sheet, just and tries to hit me with it. I ducked it, luckily, because I heard her coming, mostly because she was like, she was making this like screaming noise. So I took the cookie sheet from her, I like held her down and tickled her until she promised she wouldn't tell Mom and Dad, and then she went back and did what I didn't either. So I'm actually going to combine Kristen Coffey and Wendy Breyer. They are my second cousin, first cousin, they're cousins of mine. We all knew each other mostly because of my great-grandma, their grandma, in Blackwell, and there's a story that they probably don't know. Whenever she got moved to her, I think the name of that city was Helena. When she got moved to Helena and was staying in the nursing home, we came up there to see her. I actually had terrible blonde hair. I'll actually show you a picture of it. I had this horrific blonde hair, spiked up. Oh, I had no idea I was going to be doing this, but I lost a bet with a buddy of mine, and I made my hair look like a Dragon Ball Z character. Basically, I went Super Saiyan.
If you're curious at all, I did this.
Anyway, so I went and saw Grandma, and she was sitting there. She had a woman across the hall from her named Iba. Iba was a cute little old lady. She liked to sell. She knitted her little old potato bags. She knitted these little potato bags, and she would sell them. You're supposed to put the potato in, cook it in the microwave, take it out after 15 minutes. It's ready to go. So we're talking to Iba, and she's like, "Oh, we just love Eunice. We love your grandma." And she goes, "Oh, that Eunice, we get to playing cards, and she'll destroy us all. She's a card shark." And she's not saying it very loud. She wasn't saying it very loud at all. But I leaned back and looked down the hall to my great-grandma, just across the hall. And she's looking right at me. And I swear she had to have heard it. I don't know how she would have heard it, but she had to have heard it. But she's looking right at me as I'm talking to Iba. And she goes, and gives me a wink. It was the cutest thing ever, and she really was. If you knew my great-grandparents, they were card sharks. They would beat you at the old-time games, the pinocchles, and oh my goodness, that place was amazing. Loved having the reunions there. Joe Wood is up next. Joe Wood is a friend of mine. We met through Truck Club on forums. So there's a couple with him. There's like a couple Yamato funny ones, but the actual one that I usually think of the first time I saw him really was with, I think he was with his dad. And we went and saw a friend of ours named Neil Schunkweiler. Anyway, he's living in a little podunk town, and we were out there. All of us met up with our trucks. Well, my dad, Joe, all these other guys, they've got all these Chevy trucks. It's a Chevy truck forum. I owned a Ford truck. So they all went inside and were playing like poker and playing different games and stuff. And meanwhile, I took all of theirs, all their cars, and like nosed them up. They were all like nosed together, and I nosed my Ford in front of them and took a picture and posted the picture up on the forums about how the Ford is blotting out the sun from the Chevys. And I got a bunch of hate on the forums for it, but it was pretty funny. Brandon Sapp, no shortage of memories with Brandon. Brandon and I did a lot of funny stuff back in the day. He and I still lift to this day. We lifted yesterday. But Brandon and I have a lot of really good memories. We've actually talked about a bunch of them, so I don't want to use one of those. But I do have one with Miss Owens, one of the teachers we had. There was kind of this scandalous time where Miss Owens and Mr. Allen, it seemed like there was a thing. There was a thing going on there. And no one wanted to like allude to it. No one, like everyone joked about it, but no one said anything to her. Well, I brought it up in class because she made me mad. We were doing Spartans versus Greeks. Or no. They're all Greek. Spartan and Athens. Yeah, Spartans versus Athens. And so I got put on the Athens team, and I wanted to be Spartans. I love Spartan lore, Spartan culture, and she just would not switch me. And I was like, I bet if I told Mr. Allen I needed to be in Spartans that you'd switch me. And I made this joke in front of the whole class, and everybody was like, oh. So, obviously I got taken outside. I got in the hall, and it actually wasn't a hall. It was an outdoor building. So we went outside, and she's like, so I don't want to have you out here. I don't want to be talking to you about this kind of stuff, but you cannot talk about this. Blah, blah. Bug. Flies right in her mouth as she's talking. She starts convulsing. She starts. I was laughing so hard. We come back in, and everyone thought that she had gotten like super emotional about the conversation we had because she's like crying because this bug flew in her mouth. It's hilarious. Next up is Valerie Palmer. Valerie Palmer, I have a couple of memories specifically with you. I have quite a few with Mason. Everybody who was in high school knew about the Mason-Valerie dilemma all the time. But I thought about doing a very funny Mason one, but I decided on a different one. So I know you remember, very few people probably remember this, but there was a talent show, and you did a routine with Alicia Andrade. And Alicia Andrade you and her did this, and side by side, the two of you weren't super different in height. I think you were a little taller than Alicia. Alicia was probably like a legal midget. But you were a little bit taller than she was, but you guys did the same dance. Alicia was new to the school. No one knew Alicia. And so they did this talent show, and she was the new girl. Everyone was like, oh, it's a new girl. And she was also on the cheer team. She was fairly good. So there was a little bit of a, kind of like, how good is she? Is she taking over, blah, blah. So they did this dance at the talent show. And Valerie was very I don't know the exact word to use, but she was kind of elegant. She was doing the dance elegantly. And Alicia was doing it very provocatively. Like, all of her movements were very accentuated. All of her, like, she was going all out. She was the new girl. She was trying to, like, kind of, I don't know what she was doing. But I'm sure Valerie remembers this talent show. There was a lot of discussion afterwards about how everyone thought that, like, Alicia was like this school bad girl or something, you know, whatever. But Valerie did the dance just kind of like you would expect a cheerleader to do. She was doing it very classy. Classy's the word. She was doing it very classy, very elegant, and Alicia was just going all out, and it was a sight to see. Also, if you went to any of our football games, Valerie and Angela McNabb, they were the ones that like flipped 500 yards across the field. That was them. Alright, so I've got MJ Schneider and Tyler Waxler. I'm actually going to do you guys together because I've got a lot of people and it's going to be a long video. I don't know if you remember this, MJ. I'm pretty sure Tyler would, but Tyler at some point, Tyler was kind of our like nest egg of the group. He was like this good-hearted, good-spirited kid. He hung out with everybody. He was really cool, but we kind of made sure that no one messed with him. He was just a really good kindred, and he really is now too. He's just a really good guy. Well, one day Tyler decided we did a lot of fighting at lunchtime, and I can't remember who Tyler fought, but somebody fought Tyler. And Tyler, I can't remember if he won or lost, but I would only assume he lost because they found me, came out there, and we helped pick up Tyler, carried him to a truck, and we put him in the back of the truck. We drove him down 48th Street up into that housing addition somewhere. I think that might have been when Tyler lived. Took him there and dropped him off, took him home, and then later on someone snitched about it, and we all got like pulled out and talked to about where Tyler was and if he was being truant, and none of us would say anything. We were just like, no, I haven't seen him, no idea. Well, they took my phone, and my phone had like 30 fights from school fights on it, and Tyler's was on there. And it was just a quick, it was just a quick one. I got it from somebody. I didn't video it myself, but I didn't get to delete anyone's but Tyler's. I went in there and I hit Tyler's and they took the phone from me. So all these other people got in trouble because of my phone, but Tyler was saved from it. Tyler did not get in trouble. So I've got Amanda Cormier as well. Amanda and I weren't really friends. We were acquaintances, we knew of each other, and we had like a couple of pre-AP and AP classes together. But other than that, she kind of kept to herself and hung out with her friends, and I just kind of was the class clowny kind of guy. But there's probably one that she does remember. There was like this huge time, back to the Kraddy-Android lady. She was in our U.S. history class. It was like us. Shauna Lee will remember this. Actually, Shauna's on this list. Yeah, Shauna Lee is the next name on this list, so she'll actually probably remember this too. But we were in class, and we were watching some video, and the lights were out. Well, I thought I was just going to be cute, because I was barking up Alicia's tree. Alicia and Andrade and I had each other's phone numbers, and we were texting and talking a lot. And I was kind of like playing the slow game or whatever. Well, I thought she sat beside me. I thought she would be, you know, neat or whatever. I just reached over and started scratching her back, like during the video. And behind me was Amanda Cormier, Emma Stewart, and Shauna Lee in the back. I think that was the three that was like directly behind us. And they saw this. And probably 2 to 3 hours later in school, like all these people are coming up to me like, hey, are you and Alicia dating? Are you and Alicia dating? Are you and Alicia dating right now? We heard you scratched her back. We heard you like felt her up, and it became this whole thing within a couple of hours. I don't even know how, but I believe the three of them were behind me, and I can't remember who all must have seen it in the dark. I can only assume it was them, but Alicia, right in the middle of that, had to draw attention to us because she sneezed. And when Alicia sneezed, it was like a rock star on stage with a guitar. It was like, I mean, it was bad. And so she sneezed, and I've got like my hand on her back, and like everyone looks, and I'm like, scratching my own hair. It was not good. So that's actually it for the people that I know stories for. These people are someone that just said, hey, we'd like to hear a story of yours. Let us know. So for Lane Cressley, I've got a story about my coach Grantham. He was my track coach. He allowed me to take his car to VOTAC to work on. I was in mechanics class along with MJ Schneider and some others. And he said, hey, I need my radiator worked on. I said, okay. You know, he was coaching me in track, and we were doing discus and shot put, and I was one of his better students. So he was like, hey, you mind taking it? Just here's the keys, you know, drive it there, blah, 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 and get the radiator checked out. I said, okay, I'll do it. Billy Hinkle had a truck in school that was everyone thought it was a Lightning, a Ford Lightning. I think it was just a sport F-150, honestly, but he had this Ford Lightning. And the car that they told me to drive was a Volkswagen Jetta 2.0 turbo. And so I was like, all right, you know, well, I drive it down there, I get it checked out. It has like a O2 sensors out on it or something, and also the radiator, if it needs to be replaced, the whole front clip's gonna have to come off, so it's gonna be a little bit expensive. So we get in the O2 sensor, we're driving it back, and Billy's messing around with me on the highway. And I said, let's go. So he and I are side by side. I'm in oncoming traffic. Billy's on the straight, and we're going down 77 coming up on Slaughterville, and coming out of Lexington. And he hits his governor at 97, and he was actually leaving me by just a little bit. He was leaving me. So when he hit that governor, I went flying by and hit 125 in Coach Grantham's car. It was a little bit ridiculous. So sticking with the Coach Grantham theme, Tim Chappell wanted to hear a memory. So Coach Grantham, actually, as he was my discus coach, one day he was kind of egging me on. He knew that he could say something and give me like a challenge, and I would be up for it. So Coach Grantham said, hey, why don't you throw it out there to me? I'm gonna go stand out there. I was like, you're gonna stand out there? He goes, yeah, I'll stand at like 150 feet. He goes, you can't throw it 150 feet, don't worry about it. You know? He's kind of egging me on. So he goes out there, and I throw the disc. There's a certain thing when you hit a baseball, when you throw a football, when you throw a discus, you throw it and you just instantly know that felt great. This is a perfect one. So when I released it, I literally leaned over and told my friend Aaron and John Farrow, I said, watch. Just as soon as I threw it, watch. And sure enough, Coach Grantham's watching it. He's watching it. Well, pretty soon he's getting a little bit kind of scared. He's kind of moving. He's moving a little bit. Here, about 3 or 4 seconds later, he full out bolts. He's just, and he looks up one last second, and it's coming down, and he decides to jump. He jumps in the air, and when he jumps, the discus comes down, hits him right on the ankle, breaks his ankle completely, like a clean break on the ankle. And the next day he was in a boot and told me he was going to kill me. Given, had he have not moved and just stood completely still, it would have missed him by like 15 or 20 feet. But so next is Brianna Brent. I was going to tell that one would be like my broken iPod. I got an iPod back when iPods were like, whoa, everybody's supposed to have an iPad or iPod. If you didn't have one, you weren't cool. And I pursued being cool. So I wanted an iPod. I got one. Well, we had this treacherous, terrible ice storm here in Oklahoma. And we were out of school for an entire week. The ice was so bad. And me and my buddies, we got cooped up, we got bored, so we all got together, and we were walking around Norman, just seeing people, seeing friends, hanging out with people in their houses and stuff. Well, we went down, had this massive party at Charlotte Hodges' house, and we're leaving it, and we're like, we're gonna go party somewhere else, let's go back to Blake's house. So my house was at the bottom of a hill, and this is a very steep hill. It's McGuire Hill for many of you who know. It's the bottom of the McGuire, just past Terry's Mark. So I decide I'm gonna go down this hill, we're gonna go to the house. When we get there, the hill's an entire sheet of ice. You can't go up or down it, you can't even try, it's just a solid sheet of ice. So I take off, I believe John Farrow takes off running, jumps, and lands, and he's sliding down the hill. Whoosh, falling so fast. Aaron goes for it, Aaron Mosley, he jumps and he takes off. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it too. So I start to run, and when I did, I kind of slipped, and I landed on my side. I'm sliding down on my side. I was like, yeah, I got it. An hour later, brand new iPod broken. So I had to learn however many hundreds of songs that I had on the iPod. I knew them by memory in my head, and I would push the buttons and just cycle and spin until I knew where I was. And I learned how to use the iPod with no screen a week after I got it. Lorna Kirkpatrick, I actually have a couple of stories that probably do include you, but I'm gonna be gentle and nice, and they're mostly with Peyton now, and I remember a few of them that were just, we were ornery, so I was gonna do one that you might have heard. My freshman year, we had the Guthrie bus incident. A lot of people know about this one. The Guthrie team was the away team, came to a home game. We had homecoming. Well, I wasn't playing that night. Me and John Farrell were walking around, and this guy threw a bottle at us and said, you know, Normal sucks. And so I took it back over to him, and I was like, hey, you drop this, I wouldn't drop it again. And he was like, okay. So I walked off, and it goes flying over my shoulder. Well, Officer Ford shoves me. He's like, go on, go on. So me and John, we leave, and I grabbed the bottle on my way. I found about 15 to 20 people willing to urinate in the bottle. And we, like a quarter of the way, filled up the diesel tank of the away team's bus. And they could not get it to start. The fuel was too diluted, so they had to stay there and couldn't call a charter bus for like another couple hours. And I got in a lot of trouble. I actually got in more trouble that night because I walked home. My ride was going to be Brad Finnegan, but they left with the birds. So I'm walking down this dark street, and these guys go, Normal sucks, throw a bottle at me. Well, I had this huge chip on my shoulder. You know, you remember how I walk around. So I pick the ball up and chunk it back at them. They stop, and I hear the guy go, that's him. The dude that threw the bottle at me, they figured out it was me that peed on the bus, and I'm walking down the road by myself, right in front of Sky Ridge Church. So I knew I was in trouble. I bolted. I took off. I'm trying to reach the tree line because I knew the trees and everything very perfectly. If I could get there, I'd be good. Nope, didn't make it. One of them tackled me like a gazelle. Boom, hit the ground, and I got beaten pretty furiously with a bunch of kicks and punches, and then the last thing I saw was a bat. And then the next thing I saw was the pastor. The pastor woke me up. It was Pastor Steve. Woke me up and took me home. And yeah, it wasn't the smartest thing to ever do. Last but certainly not least is Brian Jack. Brian Jack, I'm going to give you one that was Freshman Hell Week here at Noble. It's kind of a joke. It's a fairy tale, but not really. For football players, there actually is a Freshman Hell Week. So sometimes it's kind of like really small, and they do just like a little funny thing. Sometimes they do some pretty rough stuff. So Freshman Hell Week was basically over. I hadn't had anything happen to me. And so one day they came in and they were shooting these what they called sperm balls. And it was just a bunch of the tape they use, ankle tape, they wrap it up into a ball, and they use one of those like water balloon fire things, and they hit people with it, and it hurts like heck. So I got hit with one, and same thing as the Guthrie incident, I just had to pick it up and chunk it back at them. And they said, get him, because it hit the biggest guy in the room. Lovely, lovely man by the name of Michael Brown. So Michael Brown, all of them, they chase me down into the field. I get tackled, and they start hitting me with these PVC pipes, and they're hitting me in the butt, they're hitting me in the back of the head, the legs, and oh god, that was my freshman hell week. Alrighty guys, thanks so much for watching my memories video. I'd love to do more of them. If more people want to throw their name into the basket, I'll give you something small, something you do not remember. I don't know why, but I have a great memory. Just give me something, or I'll give you one of mine. I've got a lot of hilarious ones in the bank. So you guys have a great day. Eat less, move more. I got plenty of videos coming. Also, this weekend is going to be the very first episode of An Even Bigger Loser. And I got to tell you right now, you can't see all of me at the moment, but you couldn't see all of me if you want to, because I am melting. I am getting smaller. I'm very happy about it. Thanks so much for watching. You all have a great day.